In 1978, on a dark night in the Netherlands, a woman opened the door to Professor Brunner's office, holding a list of criminals in her hand. Strangely, every criminal on that list was a male member of her own family. Arson, murder, rape. The list of heinous crime was so shocking that it was easy to believe the men of this family were possessed by demons. After extensive research, Professor Brunner and his team found the root of the curse on the family member's X chromosome, a mutated gene called MAOAL. Because the women in the family had two X chromosomes, they were spared from it, though they remained hidden carriers. This rare hereditary disorder caused by a genetic defect was named Brunner syndrome after the professor. Patients show symptoms like lower intelligence, impulsivity, emotional instability, and high levels of aggression. The discovery that a single gene could predict whether someone would commit terrible crimes shocked the society back then, and it set the stage for a controversy that would last for a century. MAOA is a regulatory gene responsible for producing an enzyme that metabolizes serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that regulates mood. When its levels are balanced, it keeps us calm and less impulsive. Dopamine, on the other hand, is responsible for excitement and desire. The right amount of dopamine boosts our focus and motivation to overcome challenges. However, when someone is born with a low-activity version of the MAOA gene, known as MAOAL, the enzymes that break down serotonin and dopamine are reduced. If the concentrations of these two neurotransmitters get too high, it leaves the brain in a constant state of pathological hyperactivity. This explains why patients with Brunner syndrome often commit impulsive crimes when their emotions run high. Their ability to reason and evaluate consequences is completely shut down. But does having this genetic mutation mean someone is destined to become a monster? Child psychologists have observed that certain children are exceptionally sensitive to their environment, reacting intensely to stress and hardship. However, when given proper care, they display extraordinary talent. These kids are called orchid children because, just like delicate orchid seedlings, they are highly sensitive to their surroundings and require careful nurturing. Neuroscientist James Fallon is a prime example. As a leading authority on psychopathic criminals, James Fallon made a shocking discovery during one of his studies. His own brain structure was remarkably similar to that of a serial killer, and he also carried the notorious MAOAL gene. According to his mother, his family history included several infamous killers, yet he himself was a respected scholar and a loving father. He desperately wanted to know, why didn't he go down the same path? He credited this to the fact that he was raised in a very loving home and had a wonderful childhood. This led Fallon, who originally believed that 80% of human personality is determined by genetics, to an unexpected conclusion. Good upbringing can triumph over bad genes. And this conclusion is actually proven right by society in Taiwan. According to statistics, over 60% of Taiwanese men carry the MAOAL gene, whereas only about 30% of Caucasian men have it. Yet, the violent crime rate in Taiwan is far lower than in Western countries. All of these examples prove one thing. Genes can influence a person's tendency toward crime, but whether they actually commit a crime comes down to their upbringing and cultural environment. When molecular biology entered the courtroom, it brought a new defense for perpetrators. If a person's crime stems from a violence-inducing gene combined with a tragic childhood, do they truly have the free will to choose not to commit the crime? This exact debate played out in real life during the 2011 wardrobe case in the United States. At the time of the incident, relations between the defendant and his wife were extremely tense. They were separated, and the children lived with their mother. During a visit where the wife brought the children along with her close friend for support, the defendant, in a fit of rage, began blaming the friend for his marital issues. He shot and killed her, then attacked his wife with various weapons. Finally, he dragged his wife into his trailer, attempting to assault her in front of the children while threatening to kill her. Fortunately, the police arrived just in time to prevent an even worse tragedy. In court, the defense attorneys presented evidence of the defendant's childhood abuse, alongside a lab report showing he carried the MAOAL gene. In the end, The defendant's original charge of first-degree murder, which carried the death penalty, was reduced to voluntary manslaughter. The verdict shocked American society and sparked widespread anxiety. If a genetic defect can be used as a get-out-of-jail-free card to avoid the death penalty, who is left to protect the surviving victims? In Taiwan, where 60% of men carry the MAOA-L gene, there hasn't been a similar legal precedent yet. But if the same logic is applied, how many killers would be considered civilizable simply because of their genes? This century-long debate over nature versus nurture, genetics versus free will, may never have a definite answer. But after understanding how the MAOA-L gene works, we are forced to rethink. Do we choose the crime, or does the crime choose us?